This AP Calc example is wanting us to determine the average rate of change for this given function right here over this given x interval. Average rate of change is really just fancy math talk for slope as we've always known it. So since you learned it in algebra, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what's happening on this problem is they're starting us off by giving us our two x values. Those are coming from the interval here. So x1 would be 0 and x2 would be pi over 6. And then what we need to do to solve this problem is we need to just go find the y1 and the y2 values, the y values that go with those x values. And once we have that, then we just pop them into our slope equation and we're done. So we'll start off going for x1 and we'll use the equation that they gave us. So we get y equals the cosine of 2, and then we're plugging in right now 0 for x, so this would be cosine of 2 and then replacing x with 0. So that's going to ask us to find what is the cosine of 0. And here's where your unit circle knowledge has to come in. You've got to know your unit circle like the back of your hand because this is a calculator not allowed question. So 0 is right here on our unit circle, and that is the point 10 when we label it. As we look at this, why that's important is because the cosine of our angle is always the x value, and the sine of our angle is always the y value on our unit circle. So here, we're looking for the cosine of 0. So the cosine of 0 would be the x value here, which would be 1. So we get out of here that the cosine of 0 is 1, and that's our y1 value. Now we're going to play the exact same game here, just using our x2 value of pi over 6. So x2 is pi over 6, so plugging in pi over 6 to our formula, we get the cosine of 2 times pi over 6. Cleaning that up, canceling that 2 and that 6, we're really being asked to find what is the cosine of pi over 3. Again, you got to know your unit circle, you got to know your special triangles here. So this special triangle is our 30, 60, 90 triangle. So this would be pi over 6, pi over 3. And the way you label this is always 1, 2, square root of 3. Then we want to find the cosine of pi over 3. So this is where your SOHCAHTOA game comes in. So the ka piece of SOHCAHTOA is our cosine, which is telling us that we're looking for the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. So from pi over 3, the adjacent side is 1, and then the hypotenuse is 1/2. So we get out of there, the cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2, and that's our y2 value. So 1/2 goes right here. Now that we've got our x1 and our y1, our x2 and our y2, we're ready to take and plug those values straight into our slope formula here. So y2, 1/2 minus y1, which is 1, over x2 pi over 6 minus x1, which is 1. From there, we would, start doing this math. 1/2 minus 1, that's going to get us negative 1/2. And then on the bottom, pi over 6 minus 0 is going to leave us with pi over 6. To simplify this down, this is a division of fractions rewrite. So depending upon where you went to school, different people memorize different little sayings to get through this. I like copy dot flip. That one makes the most sense to me. So here you will copy the top fraction. So that's negative 1/2. We change it from division to multiplication by putting a dot, and then you're going to flip the bottom fraction. So this would be 6 over pi. Now we just want to bring it together and simplify it. So when we're multiplying fractions, we multiply the top with the top and the bottom with the bottom. So we end up with negative 6 on top and 2 pi on bottom. And now you can see that that 6 and that 2, we can simplify that down, pulling the 2 out of there. We're going to end up with negative 3 over pi. And that's going to be our average rate of change. That's option C. So it was an average rate of change. Remember, average rate of change is just fancy math talk for a slope as you've always known it. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Take the x values you're given, find the y values that go with them, and then just plug it into that formula. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please click that like button and subscribe. And also share it with your friends and anyone else you know who might be crying about an upcoming AP Calc test. You can find more videos from me, more sample AP Calc questions, and my complete AP Calc study guide over at my website, apcalcprep.com. Have a great one.